Welcome to Swell Session episode 16, presented by the Well Studio. I'm your host, Jen Sprinkle. This is our 11th podcast of a special series for our Prayers for the Dreamer book club. Today's candid conversation is with Megan Smalley of Scarlet and Gold Shop. Megan wrote the prayer on business from the experiences of growing a small business, understanding success and failure, and knowing that making the Lord a part of her everyday infrastructure is something she includes in her business plan.
To have you on today.
I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. We had Megan write the prayer on praying for your business. And we know not all of you listening are business owners, but we loved this idea of just kind of drilling down and creating a very specific prayer for praying over your business. So many times, those of us who have a business or run a ministry or a nonprofit, I know I've had this tendency in the past where I've separated my business from my faith, and so this idea was just idea of the whole book was actually birthed out of this need to bring the two together. And so I'm just really excited about talking about this prayer and just how God led you in writing it and kind of your journey. So tell us a little bit about you and where you're from and a little bit about your business.
Okay, I am from Houston, Texas originally. My parents have been on staff at my church there for 30 years, so I was raised a pastor's kid. So I feel like, my faith has been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. But I went off to school. I went to Auburn, which is 10 hours away from home, and that was really the time where my faith became my own, because I went to a Christian school my whole life. I had Bible class every single week of my life that I can even remember. Like, I don't remember life without a weekly Bible, even sometimes a daily Bible class, and then chapel, and then church on Sunday. Like, it was so ingrained in my life. And I also grew up in a really big church, and so that was my normal. So coming to Auburn, it was really eye-opening to me to experience, like, searching for a church. And for the longest time, like, it was such a challenging road for me, because everything that I experienced was so different, because Auburn's a small town. And I remember the first time I went to the church that I'm still, a member of now, the head pastor was seating people. And I've never been so shocked in my entire life, because like thousands of people go to my church at home, and I've never ever experienced that. So it was just really cool. Like, it was a time in my life where, my faith really had to become my own, and mom and dad weren't there to like force me to go to church, and I had to figure out what I believed for myself and learn to stand on my own 2 feet as far as my faith goes. So I would say, like, going off to school and going to Auburn was one of the scariest things I've ever been through, but it also pushed me and has grown me into who I am today. Like, I don't think, had I made the safe choice and gone where all my high school friends were going, I would be the same person that I am today. So I really had to grow up and learn to take care of myself. And I'm a very independent person, but it was still hard to not be able to just go home whenever I was having a bad day. So, but yeah, I met my husband at Auburn, and we dated. We didn't start dating until my last semester, and so we dated long distance for a year and a half, and then got married when I was 24, almost 25. So we moved back to Auburn almost 3 years ago. So we've been here for a little while now and love it. We come from totally different worlds. I'm from Houston, Texas. He's from a tiny, tiny town in Alabama. So Auburn is a very good compromise for both of us. So we love life here, and it's still hard being so far from my family, but we feel very called to what we're doing here.
That's awesome. Now tell me a little bit about your transition to starting your business, how that kind of was birthed.
Yeah, so I was a PR major, And I feel like the PR, marketing, building relationships is my strong suit. And I started out in sales. And it's funny how the Lord works, because I was a pretty shy person growing up. And I feel like I never in a million years would have thought that I would have been in sales. But it pushed me outside of my comfort zone. And I was in pharmaceutical sales, doing really well, loved life. I had a great job. I made a lot of money. I had amazing benefits. And we found out our company was going through a layoff. And I mean, we were a top performing district, so I thought that our whole team would be fine. And a year ago in January, I got the call that I was being laid off, and it was like a shot to the gut. And it, like, this dream job, or what I thought was my dream job, was just ripped right out from under me. And so it was a really scary time. I had started Scarlet and Gold on the side as like a creative outlet a few months before. So we started in September of 2013, but I never ever imagined that it would be my full-time job, or that it would be where we are today. But during that time when I got laid off, I had 3 months where I was paid to stay at home, and my husband and I just really prayed about what the next step was, and we just felt like I was supposed to use this time to apply for jobs and then also try to grow my business. And at the end of the 3 months, when my paycheck ran out, we just prayed that the path would be very clear. And it was, at the end of the 3 months, I had no job offers, and that's when my business really took off. And so since April of last year, I've been doing this, well, I guess since January of last year, I've been doing this full time. And it's been a whirlwind. I look back and I can't believe that it's only been a little over a year and a half, and I feel like I've been doing this my whole life now.
It's such a part of you.
It is such a part of me. And so, I mean, we started off as just a print shop, but we've really evolved since then. And I guess the best way to describe our brand now is just a gift and lifestyle brand. So we really just want to produce products that we would use and that we believe in and that we like, and we have a huge heart for providing great quality products at an affordable price. And I mean, we definitely would never put something out there that we don't believe in or that we don't love. And we have a team of graphic designers, and we produce all of our own original artwork, and it's just a really cool, it's become and evolved into a really cool place where women just feel the freedom to be creative and to be encouraged, and we can pour into each other in and outside of work. And I just feel so blessed to get to do this every day.
Because you have a really unique opportunity with your business, because you actually do have a staff. So in part of your prayer, you pray over the people on your team, and then you talk about the customers that you come in contact with. And I mean, I love that you have identified just such the opportunity that you have with just the girls that you work with every day, and not just the customers. Like, you've got a really unique opportunity.
Yeah, and I feel like the Lord has blessed us with an amazing opportunity to have a team of women. I mean, there was a time where I worked by myself, and it was just me, and I was a one-man or one-woman show, and it was hard for me. Like, I remember there were days where my husband would come home and I would just word vomit all over him because I hadn't talked to an adult all day. And so it really has changed my life having people that I work with, because like that, I have such a heart for pouring into people. And one of the things that we're really big about is just being super intentional and being like understanding that every aspect of this business is an opportunity to be a light and to share the gospel. And I'm really big about being bold and sharing my faith, but also not being preachy, because I just believe that actions speak louder than words. And I get asked all the time, like, why is your business not a nonprofit ministry? And I just don't want to pigeonhole myself there, because I think that you can use any avenue as a ministry, and you can use any job, even if it's not something, even if you don't own a business. Like, I just am a big believer that you can use any opportunity, any interaction as a ministry and as a means to be a light to people. And that's what we try to do, like, from start to finish, from the design, the concept, the brainstorm, design, production, all the way to packing and shipping orders out the door to customers. We work hard, we give it all we got, and don't cut corners, and in hopes that our product will reach somebody and be a light and encourage them and make a difference.
I love that you brought up that you've been questioned before about your business not being a nonprofit, because I think that there are possibly some business owners out there who have, like you, chosen to build a business that is not a nonprofit or a ministry, and then also women who've gone as far as to build businesses that aren't necessarily even faith inspired, so to speak. So yours is, you can look at your site and see that you've got art prints with scripture and things like that. And I think it's just awesome that you have found confidence and rooted yourself into, this is a decision we're making. We are a for-profit business, and we're going to sell faith-inspired products. And I think that's just really cool that was something God just made very clear to you in the beginning.
Yeah, and I think, I don't think any of those avenues is the wrong avenue. I think it's just all about being intentional and making sure that the path is prayed over, and that that's the direction that you feel called. And ultimately, it doesn't matter if you're a nonprofit or not. You can use any environment as a ministry, and you can be a light no matter what you're doing. And that's what it's all about, because everything we do does not have scripture on it, and we do sell a lot of stuff that is not biblically based,
right?
But I mean, I do put it out there what I believe, and our faith is such a huge part of our business. But I just think it's cool to see so many different women doing things differently and making a difference for the kingdom. I mean, it doesn't all have to look the same.
Yeah, I love that. And I know you and I personally have had several conversations about growing businesses and the struggle of business, and we've even found ourselves on the phone late at night praying and tearfully praying over things. And so for those of you who aren't familiar with Scarlet and Gold, the Lord has just, and you and I have said this, you've said this time and time again anytime I talk to you, just the favor God's shown on your business and the opportunities and the connections, and how He has grown the exposure for your brand. And it's just been unbelievable in a short period of time to see. And so I'd love for you to kind of talk to that and kind of segue into just that it hasn't been always an easy journey. I know from the outside looking in, we can get clearly distracted by the number of Instagram followers and, looking at specifically at Scarlet and Gold and just the connections and the collaborations with celebrities and this and that. And it can get easy looking from the outside in to see all that and wonder or question or be discouraged. So I'd love for you to just talk about that and then just kind of pull back the curtain a little bit on the journey. And
yeah, I mean, I have a huge heart for just being open and honest and real. And I do know that from the outside looking in, it looks like I have a glamorous life and that must be nice to have that many followers, but it hasn't been easy. And like this last year and a half, like, yes, I love every second of working for myself, but it is hard. I can't tell you how many sleepless nights I've had because I'm worried about whether or not we're going to make payroll or whether or not I'm going to be able to pay the bills. And I have a stack of bills piling up on my desk, and that feeling of doubt and suffocation and like worry, it can be so suffocating. And if you give into that, like the past year and a half have been so freeing for me, but I have learned to trust the Lord like I never have before in my entire life, because there are days where at the end of the day, I feel like I have done everything I possibly can and it's still not enough. Like, I need the Lord to show up in a mighty way because I am not enough. And, yes, we get to do really cool things and I get to work with amazing people, but it hasn't always been like that. And growing this business has been nothing short of a grind. And I mean, to be quite honest, we still work out of my house. I think people look on Instagram and think that, oh, like, and it's so funny to me, it makes me laugh. Like, we get these emails like, oh, I'm coming into Auburn and I would love to come see your office and come meet y'all. And I just die laughing. It's so cute. But I'm like, you would be so disappointed if you came to our quote office. And like, just a little sneak peek into my real life, like, we have product all over both guest bedrooms. It's in our master bedroom. It is all over my kitchen table. Like, our team works on our couches, on both guest bedrooms. We pack and ship out of my master bedroom. We pack prints on my kitchen table. Like, it is
That's awesome.
the most not glamorous job ever. But like, if I can be an encouragement to somebody who is starting a business, like, you don't have to have all the bells and whistles to be successful. And you can operate a booming business out of your office and I've just been about growing as we can and staying here in my house. Yes, it's like so frustrating sometimes because I feel like I cannot take a step without stepping over scarlet and gold. But it's allowed me to hire people because I'm not paying rent, and
Right.
that's allowed us to grow. And I mean, yes, there will come a time where we will move out of my house, praise the Lord, hopefully. But for now, and that's one of the things that I try to be very real about when I'm hiring people is, okay, before we even move forward in this conversation, let me just lower your expectations. Because I know you probably think you're about to be rolled out the red carpet into the most fabulous office space you've ever seen, but let's be real, it's so far from that. But because of that, I feel like we've put together such an amazing team of women who could care less about superficial things like that want to come into work and work their rear ends off because they believe in the why of what we do and because they believe that what we're doing matters for eternity. And those are the kind of people that I want to work with. And so, I mean, it's been a really long road. Sometimes I feel like I've been doing this for 20 years and I can't believe it's only been a year and a half because it has been a grind. I feel like I never turn it off. I'm always working, but it's, it goes both ways. Like, when you love what you do, it also doesn't feel like work. And so, we haven't always had almost 60,000 Instagram followers. Like, this time last year, we had about 1,600. And so, growing that following has been a grind and has been a lot of work. And things that we roll out don't always work. We've had huge failures. And there have been things where I look back and I'm like, that was a mistake. But the thing is, if you let mistakes overwhelm you and tear you down, your business or your nonprofit or your ministry is never going to reach the potential that it could. I feel like as a business owner, you have to have thick skin and not be so sensitive and let mistakes fuel you and push you forward. And I think it's just so important to look back and evaluate all your missteps so that you can grow and that you can also not make those mistakes again. Let those make you better and not tear you down and ruin your business. So
yeah, because I love that in the third paragraph that you write in your prayer, you it says, fill me with the confidence to hold fast to my convictions, the humility to admit my mistakes, and the wisdom to learn from them. And I love that because we can get caught up in striving for perfection in everything that we do and feeling like a failure if something doesn't work out.
Right.
And I love that you just included that in your prayer. And something, this is about prayer, which is, so appropriate, but so much in what you've said has been about how you prayed about this and you prayed about this. And I think from the outside in, people can look at the growth of something or the success in numbers or dollars or product or collaborations. And is there a time in the last year and a half that you were approached with maybe a decision to, whether it's collaborate or an opportunity or something that from first glance looked so awesome and exciting, but after praying about it, the Lord just said no or reconsider, or that from maybe the outside in it didn't look like it would make sense to not do it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like that happens a lot. And that's one of the biggest challenges, I think, as a business owner, is feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders to make the right call. And I'm the first one to admit I don't always make the right call. I have made decisions and said yes to things that now looking back, I shouldn't have. Like, I'm thankful for those things because it's made me better. But there have been times where it would have been so easy to get caught up in the opportunity and the glamour and the spotlight that would have come from an opportunity. But I felt this feeling in my spirit that it wasn't right. And you have to stay true to that. And you have to listen to that, because I feel like that's how the Holy Spirit speaks, is through like our soul and these feelings that we get. I mean, I wish he would just call me on the phone and just tell me, because that would be a whole lot easier. But I feel like there's a reason that you don't feel a peace about something, or that you do.
Right.
And I pray a lot for open and closed doors, because I'm a very black and white person, and I don't like gray areas, because it's just really hard to make a definitive decision on something that's such a gray area. But there have been those times, and there's still those times, and that's one thing that, as a boss, like, I'm 28 years old, I've never been in management before, I've never been a boss before. To be honest, like, when I hired my first employee, like, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. And I mean, it's like the classic example of fake it till you make it. And there are still times that I mean, and that's something that I tell my team all the time, like, we're not going to say no to an opportunity because we don't know what we're doing, or we don't know how to do it. Like, we will figure it out. And that, as a team, you can come together and do amazing things and figure, like, I've grown so much because I've said yes to certain opportunities that have pushed me and grown who I was. But I mean, I just think as a boss and as a leader, it's so important to be vulnerable and to not act like you have it all together. Like, I try to be very open and honest with my team about where I am, and that, like, we're in this together. Like, I don't always know what I'm doing. I value their opinions greatly, and I try to hear them on things. And I just don't want to be a place that's a dictatorship and it's my way or the highway. And I mean, I just try to instill this attitude of no one person, including myself, is more important than another. Like, we are a team, and we win together and we lose together. And that goes with being vulnerable in front of your team and saying, look, owning your mistakes, like, I did not handle this right, or I wish I would have made a different decision, and I'm sorry. Like, let's learn from this and use this as an opportunity to get better and move forward.
I love that you talk about that, because, you talk a lot about praying over decisions and open and closed doors and praying over your business, but there is a part of it, it's also being confident that even if you make a mistake or you mess up, that God still reigns. He still takes care of. He still provides. It's not, sometimes we get so consumed with fear of the failure that we miss what you're talking about, which is the learning opportunities and extending grace to yourself, extending grace to your team, enabling your team to extend grace to you. And sometimes that's what God chooses over success, to bring glory to Him in a way that we couldn't with success. And I love how you talk through that, and you pray, you talk about praying, but then you talk about the grace that comes with failing. And I think that's so important when you're growing or building a business or a ministry or a nonprofit. And I just love how you've talked about both sides of that.
Yeah, because I mean, the truth is we're all human and we're all sinners. We are going to make mistakes. And if you can't handle them, or if you're too prideful to admit it, or if you get so caught up in the pursuit of perfection, it's going to take away from the opportunity to be a light and to further the kingdom. And I mean, yes, I would love for, like, I think so many people look at from the outside and think, gosh, she's probably making millions of dollars. And I mean, it's so far, like, I just laugh because I'm like, okay, little do you know, like, my husband's a teacher and we lived on his teaching salary for, like, until last month. I mean, last month is the first time I've paid myself, and trust me, it is probably a quarter of what most everybody else is making. I'm probably the least paid on our staff, and I mean, it takes sacrifice. And so if all that to say, if I were in this for success, or if I were in this for the money, I would be so unfulfilled. And so I think that you have to, like, fully 110% believe in what you're doing, and that it's a calling, and that the Lord's hand is in every aspect of it, in order to sustain those hard times.
Love that. Well, if you could leave our listeners with one piece of encouragement or advice, what would it be?
Oh, gosh. I think just, I guess it's more of a challenge to try to find some way in your everyday life to be a light. And for every single person, that will probably look different, and that's okay. And being confident in your calling, even if it is so different from everybody else's. But I think there's a huge opportunity for each and every person to be a light and make a difference. And it's okay that it may be very unorthodox, or not be how you envisioned it would be. But the Lord can use the most average of people in a mighty way. And just being confident in that, and seeking the Lord to try to find what that avenue looks like. So you don't have to have a business, or, even want to go that direction to be a light and do amazing things for the kingdom.
Such a good reminder. Well, thank you so much for just giving us some of your time today and being an encouragement for so many people, and just being a part of this project. And we just appreciate you so much.
Yeah, it's been a huge honor.
Until next time, thank you everybody for joining us. For more information about our devotional, 31 Days of Prayer for the Dreamer and the Doer, and also our online community for dreamers, doers, and entrepreneurs, you can visit thewellstudio.co. Until next time, have a swell day.